welcome to the prize giving for 2023. I am Joy McLeod.
And I'm Dylan Howe, and we are last year's head boy and head girl. We're delighted to be hosting this year's senior prize giving ceremony. We would like to welcome you all and our special guests for the evening, Professor Ken Thompson, OBE, and Kathy McFarlane. Professor Thompson is an inspirational and critically acclaimed educationalist and retired principal and chief executive of Forth Valley College. We are really looking forward to his address this evening.
Our second guest, Kathy, was a much-loved and valued member of the support department since 2005. Kathy made an incredible impact on the lives of many young people she supported, helping them to achieve their potential and supporting them to become successful adults. Kathy retired last December, and she is missed by everyone she worked with. Now we would like to tell you a little bit about our experiences as head boy and head girl. It feels a little weird for the year to be over already. It's gone by incredibly quickly, and these past few months out of school have emphasised exactly how busy our SPLT was. The first 5 years in this school, I focused solely on academics, but my final year here pushed me out of my comfort zone, allowed me to interact and meet more people, and gave me the platform to discuss issues important to me. This opportunity is one that I have found myself referring to and thanking almost daily, with a boost to my confidence and resilience. Being a part of the SPLT has come with many pluses and opportunities, too many to highlight in just one speech. The most important to myself, and hopefully to many people here tonight, was the work we did in setting up new mental health resources within the school. With many projects within this ambassador scheme, such as the Mental Health Week, we have successfully set in place a group of mental health ambassadors, and paired with the funding that we've campaigned for, this will continue for the next few years at least. It's been an amazing experience to be so heavily involved in the development of the school, with new resources set in place that better reflect what the pupils need. We couldn't have asked for a better group of people in our SPLT as we work together so seamlessly, making such a productive year. The main lesson I've learned this year is to trust my own abilities, as well as trust myself when I feel like something does not sit right, such as knowing when to speak up. It would not be a representative recap of the year to not mention the challenges that the whole SPLT and I have faced. Personally, I really struggled to take everything on board with an overwhelming start to the role, and I have many thanks to give for the patience that I have received as I settled into the role. I have cried more this year than ever before, but still I would not change how I conducted myself this past year, nor would I pass up the opportunity to do it all again. And moving on to uni and away from high school, I'm very excited to see how the school will continue to develop, particularly over this next year as we pass on to Finlay and Susanna.
At the beginning of this year, I had chosen to take on as many opportunities presented to me as I could, including 4 advanced hires. On top of this, I had committed to getting into a good uni, and to me, this meant applying to Oxford for maths and computing. I put this aim in place to set a high standard for myself, as I thought an academically challenging course was something I had to do solely because I was capable of doing one. I found that over time, the more I pushed myself in my subjects and towards my entrance exam, my interests in and out of school began to clash. I didn't realise it at first, but with my new subject choices, I had lost the opportunity for any creative exploration in my work. A void began to form in my mind, and I no longer found academia fulfilling. The life I was planning at university wasn't right for me. After careful consideration, I decided to apply for filmmaking at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. If it weren't for Mr. Bain's generosity in lending me camera equipment, and me making my application film my first priority, I wouldn't have gotten in. I now find myself on a completely different trajectory to what I expected at the beginning of this year. Although I considered myself academic, I've learned I don't owe it to myself or anyone to pursue this. Although it may seem constricting or final, narrowing down your subjects in 6th year, it is never too late to change your mind. I started this year with 4 advanced hires, yet finished it with 2, and a place on my dream course with clearer goals and a clearer mind, and for that I have my role in SPLT to thank. Together as a team, we were efficient and made the most of every event we planned, assembly we presented, and podcasts produced. But it was not just the SPLT. All of the seniors helped to make our final year such a successful one, as we work to bring back all of the traditions we lost to COVID, as well as broadening the leadership roles beyond the SBLT. We feel like, in our 6th year, everybody played a vital role, and we are grateful that we get to honour that, and every one of them tonight. We would now like to pass over to Mr. Bain.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much indeed to Julia and Dylan for their opening remarks that I think you will see evidenced and echoed throughout this evening as we progress through a prize giving that not only provides awards for those who have achieved the highest standards within traditional academic subjects, but are crucial to lifelong understanding, crucial to the development of our society, crucial to the development of self. You will also see awards that recognise the importance of vocational and professional endeavours and successes. And it is the merging of academic, professional and vocational opportunities that is being called for with ever louder voices from our employers and equally now from our academic universities. Whether it's in the world of academia or whether it's through our employers that we move on to after university and college and school, all are very clear in the message of today. It is the skills as well as the knowledge acquisition that is crucial for our success in the future. Crucial for us to develop as individuals, crucial for businesses to build on those skills and that knowledge acquisition to make the companies, the businesses, the organisations and the educational establishments that much greater a success. And so our award ceremony, as each year goes on, gets larger and larger as we give equal recognition to the endeavours, the hard work, the commitment, the pain, the tears, the laughter that comes with the hard work that is necessary to achieve at this level, no matter the subject material that the young person has gone through. It matters little whether it is someone doing a baccalaureate or a qualification in hairdressing or construction or engineering, whether it be history, although history is the best subject in the world, I can just put that. I'm biased, but no matter the subject, the learning achieved within each, particularly that related to skills, is what helps shape us as individuals and young citizens of the world and gives us skills that can be intertransferable no matter what the occupation is that we move on to. And that's what's being recognised across the subjects, whether it be history or whether it be a professional qualification. And so that commitment to such a much more difficult task these days, I would argue, comes at a cost, comes at a sacrifice. And I would like to say thank you very much for everyone who has contributed to that sacrifice. The obvious thanks must go to our learners who have put in that hard work, that dedication, that commitment, and shed those tears at times and experienced the laughter as well. But thank you very much to you for having that self-motivation to keep on going, to keep on striving, to show the ambition that's mentioned in the values up there. Because without that ambition and without that hard work, you would not be sitting here collecting awards for being top of your class or being recognised by your teachers for endeavour. That's down to you, in large part. But my thanks are also due, on your behalf, my young learners, to your parents, to your family members, to your friends, whether they be young friends or old friends, members of the family. Because without their encouragement when the times are tough, without their encouragement when you were taking your foot off the gas, then without them to be a shoulder to cry on, as well as holding a sharp stick in their hand on occasion, without them, again, you would not have achieved the level of excellence that you are being recognised for this evening. So my thanks to parents and family and friends. Thanks to all the members of staff, whether they be teaching staff or support staff, or indeed staff from across the different component parts of the building. It doesn't matter if they're technicians, janitors, property specialists, joiners, people that contribute towards making this building run. This is one of the state-of-the-art school. Even though it's 5 years old, we still get visitors coming to this school to see how we lead things, how we manage things, how we provide for our learners, even 5 years after it's built. And that's down to the hard work and commitment of so many people that contribute to education. It's not just folk like me that happen to find some money to buy stuff as the needy. And it's not just down to the teachers who happen to deliver the history lesson or whatever. It's down to everyone who provides the level of opportunity and the resources. So my thanks to them too. I want to add a fourth part of this jigsaw, and that is our partners in education. Without the partners who provide the wealth of opportunities for our youngsters, the school would not be renowned internationally to a degree, and certainly known across the nation as having the broadest curriculum in the whole of Scotland in any school. That breadth of opportunity, our promise to try and ensure that we have a course of qualification for any youngster who wishes to achieve their dreams and their goals, whether that be in an occupation across Scotland or an educational establishment in Scotland. We don't make that promise for every institution in England. That would be quite a task. But we promise to provide whatever opportunities that will allow our youngsters to take the next step in their lives to meet their dreams and not just put on the basics of what we can. But we do not do that alone. That is not down to myself, my leadership team and my staff. That is down to partners. UHI Argyll happens to be our largest contributor towards providing a level of opportunity that our youngsters take on. And I can't remember exactly how many youngsters are doing UHI courses within Oban High School, but it's close to 200, so my thanks to them. But they're not alone. We receive support from a wealth of other educational establishments across the country. We have connections with SAMS, and we receive a lot of support from SAMS, and particularly moral support. And so I'm very appreciative of that as well. But we also receive support from Glasgow University, from the Royal Conservatoire. We receive support from other schools across the country that we work in harmony with to take forward the opportunities that we do, both in terms of allowing youngsters the opportunity to access support as well as subject materials. And we also work with a number of other colleges as well. And our guest speaker tonight, Professor Ken Thompson, OBE, is a great friend of the school. Ken and I have been working together for almost a couple of years now and sharing experiences and visiting each other's establishment and learning what can be achieved. Forth Valley College, and Ken will tell you more about this later, I'm sure, but Forth Valley College is an internationally renowned institution, and one which we have been tapping for information and learning about how they take forward engineering, construction, creative industries, which is now the 5th largest employer sector in the country, and so we learn a lot from other establishments like Forth Valley. So my thanks very much to our partners in other education establishments, but it's not just other establishments in education that are our partners. A huge thank you to our local businesses and organisations that support the school. This school strives to achieve a high level of academic success, but it also strives to ensure that those youngsters who wish to go straight into the workplace or wish to go to the workplace via college or university have opportunities, skill-based opportunities, experience-based opportunities, and without the 109 employers who are signed up to support our school, all local based, we wouldn't be able to run, for example, our pathways programs, our foundation apprenticeship schemes. We wouldn't be able to have our youngsters go straight into modern apprenticeships and begin their vocational journey far earlier than one would imagine possible without the support of local businesses, organisations and companies. As I mentioned right at the start of my speech, it's not just about the knowledge acquisition, it's about the skills acquisition. And local employers providing real skill acquisition rather than us just talking about it in lessons is what can make the difference and ensure that our youngsters walk into jobs work ready. And this is something that employers are asking for. They're asking for young people to leave schools being work ready. And thanks to these organisations, these businesses, these companies that support us, as well as the other educational establishments and helping us with academia, we wouldn't be ensuring that we have one of the highest levels of positive destinations for our youngsters leaving school. So almost every single youngster that leaves school is walking into a positive destination, whether that be at university, college, and in our case, particularly straight into employment. So my thanks to the pupils, to the parents and the family members, to our staff members, and to our partners, because you have all made Open High School and our youngsters a great success these last 12 months, and I'm very appreciative, as are all the staff and kids. So thank you very much. I am now going to pass over, unless I get around to something, I think I'm going to pass over to our guest speaker now, Professor Ken Thompson, who is principal, or was principal and chief executive for Forth Valley College before he retired and started taking jobs. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much indeed, everybody, and thank you, Peter, for the invitation to come and speak with you today. I'm absolutely delighted to be here because, as Peter said, we met as part of a national programme bringing in colleges, universities, schools, and Peter and I used to talk over lunch about innovative ideas and thoughts, and he said, come and see my school. So I'm in Falkirk, I'll come and see. So off I came, had a look around, had a wee tour around. Thank you very much indeed. I thought this is one of the best, most innovative, most modern, creative organisations I have been in. And I thought we would love to work with you guys. And sure enough, Peter came back to the college, and we've now set up a programme. Not necessarily looking for students to commute from here to Falkirk, Stirling and Alloa, but to gain ideas and insights and thoughts. And it's a great opportunity. Not until somebody comes from outside, because people can say all this stuff. It's not until you hear from people from outside and say, yeah, you've got a pretty damn good school here. And you guys who are going to graduate eventually from this place are going to go and use your skills and be seen as being so positive and a great example of what Argyle can do. So congratulations. So, I then said, I'm going to speak. How can I speak? I've retired 3 months ago. I've spoken about all sorts of things. What do you want me to speak about? And he said, speak about yourself and what you've learned. Yeah, beauty. But I don't get to do that. So, strap yourselves in. I want to do that. I want to say a little bit about who I am, where I am, and how I've got here. And I wanted to just highlight this little book here. I have management books. In fact, I have one management book at home. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's by a guy called Stephen Covey. I've read this quite a few times. It has 7 areas of ideas of what you could do to be an extremely highly effective people. And I totally recommend it. I recommend it to all my staff. I recommend it to students, pupils. It's an American read, so bear with. But it's the only book that's ever caused me to cry. And that's because I was having trouble with my teenage son, and there's a bit in there that talks about working with people that you don't see eye to eye with, and how will you do it. And I thought, that is me. That is me. So that book is very much, something that's highlighted my direction of travel. So what I wanted to do was to give you the 4 habits of highly effective me, of things that I have picked up over the last 40-odd years, 45 years in my experience that's got me to where we are today. And I wanted to share with you 4 of them. How long ago now? About 25 years ago, I bought myself a journal. I was in Italy and I bought this beautiful journal, scrapbook. And I've since been putting in little snippets of things that I thought, that's good, I remember that, that's good. I've got in there Yogi Bear, saying the boo. You've got 2 of those, you've got 1 of those. Use those. Oh, that's good, wrote it down. I remember the previous manager of Rangers, Alec McLeish, maybe a few years ago now. But he left Rangers Football Club, and in the spiel in the papers, it said he never thought he was as good a manager as he could have been at Rangers. He thought he wasn't good enough. I'm going to write that down. Don't think you're not good enough. So I've done that many, many times, and I've picked out 4 for you, and I'm going to give you the stories behind them. So where have I come from? So, I've got a bit of Geordie twang. When I used to do graduations, my marketing team wanted me to do the graduation voice of the Big Brother. I never got the courage to do that, but I was born in Glasgow. I was born in Glasgow, but my parents moved to Newcastle when I was 2. And we went from Newcastle to Grimsby, following my dad, who became a lecturer at Grimsby College. And going through the school at Grimsby, I wanted to be a vet. I wasn't clever enough to be a vet. I knew that. And so I wanted to work with animals. The first thing that happened was I speak to the careers officer, and he went, agricultural technician. You can work with cows. I went, no. I want to work with cheetahs, with orangutan. I want to go to Africa and study behavior, animal behavior. And they said, no. You like languages, I don't like languages. I've never liked languages. I said, no, you do like languages because you're taking German. I said, I've done that. I do take German. I took my exam. I got what is called, in England, ungraded. It was so bad, I never even got a grade for it. My parents said, you need to take that again, because German's a good one to have. So I took it again. I got another U, 2 ungraded. I don't do languages. However, I do the sciences, and I pushed to do animal. And I was successful. I didn't get quite the A-levels required to go to Nottingham University, but I got in. Begged, borrowed, got in. With my A, B, and an E. They wanted A and 2 Bs, but they took pity on me. And I went in as an animal behaviourist to Nottingham University. I believed in myself. Listen to everybody, but understand, what do I want? That's what I want to do. Believe in yourself was my first habit. Recognize that from 1979, when I went off to university. So, I went off to university to do zoology, wanted to become an animal behaviourist, loved watching people and animals. But in my second year, I went to this lecture with a guy called George Benke. George Benke. 40 years ago, I know George, I can pick him out now. The most inspirational lecturer I've ever seen. He did parasitic behaviour. He convinced me, just by his stories, that what I wanted to do was to become a parasite entomologist. He told me about how parasites change the behaviour of animals and humans. He told us facts that really instilled enthusiasm for the subject that I'd never had before. Do you know what the biggest tapeworm ever removed from a human being is? We got that. The intestine is about 5 metres. And we've got 5 metres, that's 5 metres, okay. Biggest one ever removed, 23 metres. That's like 3 times the length of this stage. How on earth did that. And how the hell did they get it out? And how did they measure it? You know? There's another thing, a hookworm. This is a beauty. A little hookworm in the leg. You get it in the river. It's a female. It drills into your leg, and it lays its eggs in your leg, and a cyst develops around it. And then those cysts, the little eggs hatch into little larvae, and the mum has to get those babies into water. So how do you do that then? So what she used to do was to produce acid that burnt your leg. And what do? You stick your leg in the water to cool down, the cyst bursts open, and the baby's away. I thought this was amazing. Amazing. I was really into tsetse flying and biting insects and sleeping sickness and all that stuff. And so I applied to do a PhD at Edinburgh University, which I got in. And I did a PhD in midges in place. Horseflies. Those little buggers that get you. That was my job. I loved that. And that was in 1980. 82, 86, I think it was. 82 to 86. I did that PhD on the ecology of the midgie and the horsefly. Do you know where I did it? I did it in Dalvik. I did it in Dalvik on Loch Oer, and I used to see the guys get on the bus and come here 40 years ago. And never thought there'd be one day here talking to you about our experiences. If you want to know how not to get bitten, well, we found two things, and it's all happening now. Well, one of them is carbon dioxide, we breathe out. You breathe out carbon dioxide, the midgie comes along, and the horseflies as well, by the way, comes along and smells your carbon dioxide. And then it goes round in a circle like that and works out where the concentration is. Goes over there, it's less. It's over here, it's strong. Comes round here, round here. Eventually gets about there, and it sees you, and then it gets you. If you wear yellow, it can't see you, but you can't breathe. So that's a bit of an important thing. What we did find was that the midgie, if you've been bit by a midgie, it doesn't hurt. But you will react to it. Some people say, I'll never get bitten. Oh, yes, you do. You just don't react to it. Because it injects an anticoagulant and it also injects an anesthetic, so you don't feel it. When you get that little circle around it, that's where the chemical goes out. And actually that can really cause an impact, an immunological impact on many people. And that's where you say, well, I've been bitten. Everybody gets bitten. Colleagues are just nasty. They drill into you and pull feet. So I finished my PhD, and not much call for midgie experts in those days. But a friend of mine said, try that job. Dumpelia Country Park in Airdrie, seasonal countryside ranger. So I applied, horrendously overqualified. Went to have the craziest interview I've ever had at Monklands Council for a seasonal job. There was 26 people in that interview panel, most of them councillors. And I got the job. I loved being a countryside ranger. And I applied, once that was the season, I applied to become a countryside ranger in Kilmarnock. I got it, Dean Castle Country Park. And they had the best environmental educational programme going. The rest of it was rubbish because you were glorified parking, telling people to get off the grass. That's not what I wanted to do. And I got to the stage where, I'm not quite sure this is for me. But in the meantime, I was in a relationship with somebody over in Edinburgh, and I was in Kilmarnock, and something happened that broke it off, and I was gobsmacked. I was completely shocked because I was living on my own in Kilmarnock, away from all my friends. And I used to go into work and just really be miserable. And my boss, at one point, just got fed up with this. And he came up to me and I was battering fence posts. And he said, bit coarse, I'm not going to use the language he used, but he just says, what's up with you? You know, you're miserable, what's up with you? And I said, you know, fine, well, what's up with me? And he said, is there anything you can do about it? And I said, no. He said, stuff it. Habit number 2. I have used that pretty much all my life. My colleagues in the principal world will get worked up on things they have no control of. What we were doing was going, yeah, that's going to happen. Let's focus on the direction of travel we're going to go. So we're focusing on where it's coming so that we're taking it forward. Habit 2. There's nothing you can do about it. And this used to happen to me. It happens to me at home all the time. I can't do anything about it. Says more like that. We can't do anything about it. Stuff it. Or words to that effect. Habit 2. Got to the point, of course, that I'm thinking, I don't want to do this. I'm a dog walker. I don't want to do this anymore. So I went down to, applied for a job, went down to London to I think it was ICI, to be an insect specialist. Had a good day. They asked me to come back for the second interview. I'm going on train the way up, and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is for me. Had a few beers in the train, and I don't know, do I like this? I'm not sure. Got in the next day, same guy, James. He said, how did it go up? And I went, not so sure. And he went, habit 3. The wee man inside is no happy, you'll not be happy. Go where you got. I did. I didn't go for the job. And I applied and got a job with Livingston Farm Corporation about 6 weeks later. And I ran the senior ranger, so I was the senior ranger at Livingston Farm Corporation in West Lothian for 8 years. With that third, listening to the wee man inside you, habit 3. Now, I then, at the end of the 8 years of being a ranger, applied and got a job as a lecturer at what was Falkirk College. And then became head of Department of Science. And then 20 years ago, actually, in 2003, got onto the senior team. We were a very, very good college. We went through an awful number of inspectors, and we were seen as being one of the best. We were rubbish at telling people that. I got the deputy's job in 2007, and then the principal's job 10 years ago, in 2013. The first thing I did was to take the college down to Birmingham and put us forward for a thing called a Beacon Award, which is like the Oscars for colleges. And we won it. We won the most innovative college in the UK for what we did as a whole college, not because we did a little project here, a little project there, a whole college approach. And I knew that in Scotland we're rubbish at telling people how good we are. You're actually quite good at telling people how good you are. But we're not good when we go down south our border to tell them how good we are. And since then we've had lots of organisations coming up to see what we do. And when I became principal, I'm coming on to habit 4. When I became principal, one of the things I wanted to do was to bring the staff on board. So the first thing I did was, let's tackle bureaucracy in this college. That big B word, bureaucracy. Let's sort out workload. I want you to come to me and give me things that we could do to tackle bureaucracy. Doors open. Within a week, I had 2 new ways of working to improve workload. I was so frustrated. There's tons. I knew there was. I've been through the ranks. Anyway, the following week, I was at a presentation. I gave a presentation to Stirling Council, finished that, and sitting at lunch. Someone said to me, so, a question that never been asked. What qualifications do you have to be a principal? And I went, I'm a zoologist. Usually don't say that because people say, do you work in the zoo? No, I am a zoologist. I'm an entomologist, a zoologist. And he went, oh, what do you think of these pandas at Edinburgh Zoo? And I went, well, pandas, you're talking to an insect guy here. So, pandas, they eat one food. They mate for 3 hours a year. They are solitary. They are big, cuddly. The Chinese have wrapped them up as a product. We don't even own them, we're leasing them, and they're going back at Christmas. Should never have been here in the first place. Evolved out. Okay. So, thanks for asking. Anyway, that night I was having a chat with my daughter who said that, I said to her, she got a big teddy. I said, you need to get that teddy moved upstairs, you're going to secondary school. She said, no, that's mine. Why do you want to keep it? I've always had it. So a little penny dropped. And I went into the college the next day and I had group meetings like this, and I said, usual stuff. And I said, we're going to tackle bureaucracy. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want you to go find our pandas. I want you to, and I told them the story. Eat nothing, eat one food, mate for 3 hours, solitary, blah, blah. I want you to find the college pandas, things that we should evolve out, things we should do differently. Within 3 days, I had 60 different ways of improving workload, bureaucracy. Habit 4, which is about thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box and having a go. Being different. The best one of those, by the way, was my head of construction, who every Friday, 2 weeks, would have a 2.5-hour meeting. Started at 2:30, finished at 4, 5, half 2 to 5, and then he'd tell everybody what was happening in construction. And there was about 40 people on it, all the construction lecturers would be in there. I knew it was hopeless. He knew it was difficult. So what he decided to do was pander. He got his curriculum managers at the door to say, when you leave here, I'm going to ask you one question. Please be very, very honest in how you answer it. So we had this 2.5-hour meeting. As they're leaving, the question posed to the lecturers were, what did Ian say? It's like, what did he really say? In 2.5 hours, tell me what he said. I have no idea. I was planning on my last night's sleep, I was planning on this, I was away with the fairies, I was thinking about it the weekend, I'm sorry, I was not listening. Well, we knew that. So what he did, Ian, he took his panda, and he got rid of the meeting. He had an annual day where he got external speakers in, and he gave the 2.5 hours back to the staff. We got 60 of those, some were big, some were little, some were technical. And that was all about having a go. Think outside the box and have a go. Do it differently. If I go and say, tackle bureaucracy, right, of course. Go find a panda. I wrote an article for Times Ed on how we kill pandas at Falkland. And there was a little big box in there, not really. So we've got the 4 there. So I've got the believe in yourself, the stuff it, the wee man, and then the have a go. And I just want to tell you one little story about one of my children. I've got 3. My eldest went to university, eventually he did art at W. Got into hospitality, and he's now a project manager, a program manager in an estates company. So some would say the degree's got nothing to do with what he did. Actually, he's got an eye for detail, and that's what the employer picked up, so they're well worth it. My middle son came to the college, didn't want to go to university, he's got a selection of hires, came to the college. I said, come to college, see what you think. You might pick something from it. And Rory came in, and as we're driving in, he said, I said, what do you like? He said, darts. I said, what do you mean? He said, I like scoring darts. I said, well, go and have a chat with the business people and just see what fancy. So I went on my office, and off he went. I said, I'll see you in a couple of hours. 10 minutes later, knocked on the door. It's Rory. That's me signed up, HND Accounting. Last week, he qualified as a chartered accountant in Perth. And that's a long, and he did his HND, and he got in middle of the program, prior learning, and he's worked hard, and he's an accountant, bless him. My daughter, who's now 22, she became a school refuser at second year. Something happened in class that we, to this day, don't really know what, but she just walked out, and she didn't go back for 17 weeks. And when a child decides she's not going back, even though I'm in education and my wife is a primary school teacher, we knew what we needed to do, but when they don't want to go, they don't want to go. Eventually, we got some people involved to support, and she was going back in short bursts to the college. She was going to special areas, she was going there for an hour, coming back, going there for an hour. Her friends were all ploughing on. She's got great friends. They all ploughed on academically. She spent the first year just in for a morning, and then maybe a day or 2 afternoons, whatever suited her. The school was brilliant at how that worked, but it was always going to impact on her education. We got to the stage where we got her back in probably for about 3 days in the week. She did gymnastics, she coached young people. School was the thing she couldn't cope with, everything else was fine. It all started with a tummy rumble, and someone saying, drawing attention to that. That was it. That disrupted her whole education. Anyway, she got her hires, 3 of them, not very good ones. She did have a place at university. I was so pleased she didn't get it. She wasn't ready. And it was like, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know. So I said, you're doing sport, you're doing coaching. Why don't you come to college and do one of our sports management courses? Okay. She came. One of the first things that the lecturer did was have her go and speak to our guidance people, and found that she was full-blown dyslexic. No, she was 18 years old and we hadn't spotted it. She'd hidden it completely from us. Full-blown dyslexic, so she was given all the kit and support. She went on placement to a local school, Queensferry Primary, but realised quite soon that sport wasn't for her, and she was a gymnast and everybody else was doing football. And really didn't want to know what she wanted to do, but she loved the school, loved going to the school. So she went and volunteered to help out at the school for the rest of that year, but she signed up for an HNC in childhood practice, which is for early years or for primary school. She got best student at the graduation. I was told, it's an under weekend, the staff don't even know that she's your daughter, but that's what they want to do. She's got best student. And she got the job, she got that, and then she became a pupil support assistant at that Queensferry Primary School. And last year, she got into Queen's Margaret University to be a primary school teacher. And she's going into a secondary. And she's working in schools as a pupil support assistant, and she was in the summer working with a special school. She believed in herself from day one. She didn't know quite what she wanted to do, but she believed in herself. And now, we're so proud of her going on to be that primary school teacher in the forms of She'll be brilliant, because she's had such the experience, we knows what she's getting into. So, I'm concluding on that, because it's a good story, and it's a positive one. The 4 things that I want you to take away, I mean, go and get the 7 here, you've got 11. And that's really good, is listen to the wee man inside you. You know what I mean, you've got a reaction. The best one I got was, if you can't do anything about it, it's out of your control, stuff it. Get on with it, get on with the life. Think outside the box and have a go, and of course, believe in yourself. Thank you again for inviting me. I've been really, really pleased to spend some time with you, and I hope you take something away from it. All the very best. Thank you.
We're now moving on to our senior prizes, which will be announced by our department heads and presented by Kathy McFarlane. Please welcome Mr. Heaney and Kathy to the stage.
on behalf of the Business Education and Digital Department. I'd just like to, before I start, echo the words about Cathy. I was lucky enough to work with Cathy and a pupil we had, Ross McCaskill, a number of years ago, who was so dyslexic, couldn't read or write. And he was in our class for 4 years. We had him teaching business to him, and I saw Cathy almost every day. And I watched her nurture and develop with Ross all the way through his hires, getting some really excellent hires, and then coming out at the far end, going on to an excellent apprenticeship with tracks, which he and his peers thought initially was beyond him. But through that care and attention that Cathy and the support that he was given, he really excelled and is now doing so well that we're both delighted, what a boy, as we always say when we see each other. So that's just a personal note from me about Cathy retiring. You're missed. Also, it'd be remiss of me not to mention the excellent work the department have done with our partners. We've had the Future Assets, who are a company. What they're doing is they're trying to get more women into the very male-dominated world of investment banking. So we won 2 prizes this year. Our kids were invited across to Edinburgh, put up in one of the lovely big hotels and taken some investment houses to see exactly what happened there. So we had that happen this year. So they were, in fact, one of the senior group from last year were so excellent that they invented a prize for them. Because of their pitch. So Megan's there, so she was part of that group, so well done to them. And I think what we're doing is we're going to announce all 4 of the prizes. Miss Jackson, are we first? And then we're going to basically then invite you up on stage. So without any further ado, administration is the first one I'm going to give. So we have winning the higher prize for Endeavour, winning the higher prize Endeavour is Lauren Gibson. Winning the best in administration is Victoria Rishka. Winning the Endeavour Award for Administration is Olivia Gage, and winning the Best in Administration is Rachel Stewart. Excellent. The next prize is a prize we are given for achievement in business education overall, and this is going to Ellie Johnson. This is basically because she's basically had great successes. She's going to, I'm sure, go on and be very successful in the career that she's chosen, which would be moving on and being a very successful entrepreneur, probably in the business, not the business industry, sorry, the beauty industry within our town. And she does Miss Anderson's nails, so I've been told she's very good. So yeah, this is for overall for working between administration and business management. So our prize winner for the Wiltshire Trophy is Ellie Johnson. Well done, Ellie. Moving on to the business management prizes. So we have the first prize was Eva McCall, who was in the top 10% of the results in Scotland for higher business. Okay, so that's exactly how well she did. We've got Olivia Pearson, who is the Endeavour Award. We have Victoria Susano de Lima, who has won the Best in for Business Management at National 5. Jamie Summers for the Endeavour Award at National 5. So that is everything we have for business management. So well done, guys. Finally, we'll look at the computing prizes, the computing science and games design prizes. We've been basically trying to invest through the school throughout the years and build up our computer science department and add extra qualifications in. So this year we're looking at games design, etc. Let me see, place lost. We've got Rory Cotty, who's the best in for National 5 for computing science, Matthew Jameson, the Endeavour Prize. We've got Mark Taylor, who's won the best in computing science at Higher, and we've Iona Cameron, who's won the Hopper Award. and Rory Cotty, who has won the Turing Award. And last but not least is Ada Cumming, who has won the Games Design Prize. So congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. McLean. I'm the Principal Teacher for Maths here. I'd just like to echo all our speakers and thank everybody involved in the success of all of our pupils this year. I'll start off with the F.G. Mackenzie Award for Advanced Higher Maths. This year we had quite a small class, but a really quite close-knit class who all went on to be very, very successful in the exams this year. But our prize winner for the F.G. Mackenzie Award is Edie Elliott. And I'll just be following Mr. Hayes' lead in a few batches, so we'll go into the Applications of Maths Awards. For higher applications of maths, the best in award goes to Michael Beaton. For National 5 Apps of Maths in S5 and S6, the Endeavour Award goes to Finlay Cameron. Erin Fairley will be getting the best in award for S4 Apps of Maths. Matthew Jameson, the Endeavour Award for S4 Apps of Maths. And finally, Ellie Johnson for the best in award for Apps of Maths in App 5 and S5 and S6. The final set of awards for myself come for our mathematics courses, starting with our National 5 Endeavour Award for S5 and S6 going to Arden Binney, our Endeavour Award for S4 National 5 Mathematics for Iona Cameron, Jessica Jevons for the best in National 5 in S4 for Mathematics, Jessica Lane for the best in award for S5, S6, National 5, and Callum Wigan for the best in higher mathematics. Well done, everybody. Pass over to Sheila Stewart for the Expressive Arts Department.
Hello there, I'm standing in for Mrs. Ledbeater who couldn't be here tonight. So we're going to start the Art and Design Awards. So for the Advanced Higher, Best In goes to Emily Aldwinkle. The Best in Higher goes to Ashlyn Duncan. The Advanced Higher Endeavour Award goes to Thomas Hall. The Best in National 5 goes to Tara Heritage Crab. The Endeavour Award goes in National 5 goes to Lily Irvin. And the Endeavour Award for Higher goes to Dana Johnson. Well done. And now for the Drama Awards. So for Higher, the Endeavour Award goes to Callie Campbell. For National 5, the Endeavour Award goes to Amy Didcock. For Best In, the higher award goes to Ashlyn Duncan, and for Best in for National 5 goes to Sophia Lamson. And now for music. So the most improved senior instrument player, the Haydock Prize, goes to Olivia Gage. Okay, the Endeavour Award for Music at Higher goes to Edward Cotham. The Endeavour Award for Music at Advanced Higher goes to Fiona Cruikshank. The Best in Music at Higher goes to Edie Elliott. The Best in Music for Nat 5 goes to Erin McMillan. The Best in Advanced Higher goes to Josh Mitchell. And the Endeavour Award for Music goes for National 5 goes to Joe Prouty. The Sutherland Quaich for Music Award goes to Karen Black, who also wins the Best in Music Technology Award at a higher level. And the rest of the Music Technology Awards go to Endeavour Award for Music Technology at Higher goes to George Mitchell. The Best in Music Technology in Higher goes to Hattie Pollard. And the Endeavour Award for Music Technology goes to Susanna Whittle at Higher. So, the Photography Awards. The Endeavour Award for Higher Photography goes to Lucy Gilbert. The Best in Photography at Higher goes to Ruby Heritage Crab, who also wins the Art Cup. Well done. Thank you, and I'll pass over to Mr. Fulton for the signs.
Good evening, everyone. The first prize I'm going to award this evening is for a subject which we haven't actually awarded a prize before, and I think it's one that shows the diverse range of subjects that we're actually teaching in high school, as I believe we're one of only 3 in the country that actually teach this, and that subject is beekeeping. The prize for which goes to Rory Poole. The next prizes are for biology. The Best in Higher Biology goes to Ewan Dowd. The Endeavour Award for Higher Biology goes to Daisy Dugdale. The Best in National 5 Biology to Tara Heritage Crab. And the Endeavour Award for National 5 Biology, Maisie Shaw. And the Advanced Higher Best Award for Belle Van Grundel. Moving on to chemistry, the Endeavour Award for National 5 Chemistry goes to Owen Firth. The Best in National 5 Chemistry goes to Thomas Harding. The Best in Higher Chemistry, Cal McGuigan. The Best in Advanced Higher Chemistry to Belle Van Grundel. And the John Porter Prize for Endeavour in Chemistry goes to Cara Simpson. And finally, physics. The Endeavour Award for Higher Physics goes to Rosa Cromley. The Best in Nat 5 Physics to Rory Cottier. The Best in Higher Physics to Ewan Dowd. The Endeavour Award for National 5 Physics to Matthew Jameson. The Best in Nat 5 Physics to Jessica Jevons. The Best in Advanced Higher Physics to Belle van Groendal, who also wins the SAMS Award for Outstanding Achievement in Science. And I'll now hand you over to Tess Dawes, who will hand you the prizes for health and well-being. Thank you.
Hello, unfortunately my vote is here, so I'll be presenting the awards for PE and home ec, so the Health and Wellbeing Awards. First up we have our dance awards. Best in National 5 for dance goes to Daniel Craig. Our Endeavour Award for higher dance goes to Daisy Dugdale. Our Endeavour Award for National 5 dance goes to Hannah Ferguson. And our Best in Higher dance goes to Sophie Houston. Next up we have our Exercise and Fitness Awards. The Best in Exercise and Fitness goes to Rory Dodds, and our Endeavour Award for Exercise and Fitness goes to Duncan McEwen. Next award is our Physical Education Award. So Best in Higher Physical Education is for Finlay Brown. Our Best in National 5 is Daniel Craig. Our Endeavour Award for Higher PE is Malcolm McIntyre, and our Endeavour Award for National 5 is Alec McEnroy. While I've got him standing here, our next award is the Moncrief Cup, and that goes to Finlay Brown. Next we have Sports Development. We have our Endeavour Award for Sports Development, and that is awarded to Lewis Baker. And our Best in Sports Development goes to Gregor Warnock. Next up, we have our Home Ec Awards. So our Best in Higher Health and Food Technology, we have Michael Beaton. Best in National 5 Health and Food Technology, we have Ruby McDougall. And we also have our Best in Practical Cookery Award going to Olivia Gage. Last one from me, it is our Jim Lay Award for Sports Coaching, and that is also awarded to Gregor Warnock. Next up, we will have a set of tunes performed by our very own traditional school of music. Ken Thompson. Please welcome Mr. Green to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. Cliche English teacher, books and bow ties here. I just thought I'd quickly say a thank you, especially to Julia and to Sophie. If you ever walk into my classroom, you'll see a green mat in front of the door. It was a gift from these two guys. Obviously, my name's Matt Green, and he was the inversion of that. But it's actually inspired me to have a new behaviour policy in my classroom, because I tell all my kids this. I tell the story of them buying at me and saying, that's representative of me. And then watch what the kids do when they walk in my classroom. And some step nimbly over it, and others just go, you know. And you know you're going to have trouble for the rest of the year. Anyway, none of these guys have given us any trouble. Some I've taught personally, and some I wish I had. So without further ado, the first three. For the best in higher English, we have Eva Benetti. The Endeavour Award in English, higher English, is Gaz Goldie. And thirdly, the Endeavour Award in Advanced Higher is Becky Jeffrey. Next, it's an absolute pleasure to give all of these, and especially the first one, as I said to him personally. If you'd have asked me in S2 whether he would be getting this award when he was sent out nearly every lesson sat in my classroom, I said no, and it's proof that hard work and endeavour can just turn things around. So it's a pleasure to announce the first name. For Nat 5 Endeavour Award goes to Stephen Kelly. Advanced Higher Best in English obviously is Ellis McLean Fleming. Nat 5 Best in English is Victoria Susano de Lima. And finally, Advanced Higher Endeavour Award goes to Carrie Simpson. I'd like to invite Fiona Wilson to the stage to present the social.
Good evening. I'm delighted tonight to award the prizes for social subjects and RMPS. The first prize goes to Angus Brack for higher environmental science. Unfortunately not here tonight, so I'll move on to the Geography Awards. For National 5 Endeavour Award for Geography, Mayor Hutchison. For Higher Endeavour Award for Geography, Katrina McFarlane. Owen Moran for Advanced Higher Best in Geography. George Pagan for Nat 5 Best in Geography, and Katie Primrose for Higher Best in Geography. History Awards: Elena Cameron, Advanced Higher Best in History. Katrina McFarlane, Higher Best in History. Eva Prouty, Higher Endeavour Award for History. And Amy Campbell, Higher Endeavour Award for Modern Studies. Continuing on with the Modern Studies Awards, Sophie Houston, Advanced Higher Best in. Robin Main, National 5 Endeavour Award for Modern Studies. Maisie Shaw, National 5 Best in Modern Studies. And Mark Taylor, Higher Best in Modern Studies. Reading through my list too quickly, if the nerves have been up here. So I would like to ask Thomas Hard, sorry, lost my place, sorry. Cuba Kola for Endeavour Award for History, and Thomas Harden for National 5 Best in History. Okay, moving on to the RMPS Awards, I've got Brodie Binney, Advanced Higher Best In, Iona Cameron, National 5 Best in RMPS, Megan D. Higher Best in RMPS, and Lucy McCormick, National 5 Endeavour Award for RMPS. Evie Parker won the Endeavour Award for Travel and Tourism, and Eve Mackay wins the Brian McAllister Award for History. I have one final award to announce, and that is the Carrigail Trophy for Senior Geography. This prize is sponsored by Green Parrot, which is the company that runs the Carrigail Wind Farm in Kilkenny, and I'd like to invite George Baxter up to award the prize to Katie Primrose, please.
I'm absolutely delighted to be presenting the awards or announcing the awards for languages, so I'm just really proud of the pupils we've had in the department, just like everyone else. And so here we go. For higher French, we have Eva Benetti, Best In, Daisy Dugdale for an Endeavour Award, Higher French, Matthew Jameson, Endeavour Award for National 5 French, and Sophia Lamson for Best in National 5 French. And now we're moving on to Gaelic learners. So we have Best in Nat 5 is Kenna Cameron. Best at Higher is Ashlyn Duncan. We have an Endeavour Award for Higher Gaelic, Ewan Gibson. And we have an Endeavour Award for National 5 Gaelic, Olivia Wood. And now for our Gaelic fluent speakers, we have our Best in Nat 5, National 5 for Gaelic, and that goes to Caris Brown. And an Endeavour Award for National 5 Gaelic, and that goes to Katie Garvey. And moving on to Spanish, we have the National 5 Endeavour Award goes to Kira Gibson. We have National 5 Best in Spanish. We have a joint award for this. It was really too hard to call that at all. So Thea McBrain and Victoria Sassano de Lima, Best in National 5. And I'm actually going to be staying up here, I think. I think so, yeah. I'm going to be staying up here because unfortunately Mrs. Clark can't be here to present the awards for construction, design, wider achievement and engineering. So some of the wider achievement courses that Mr. Bain was talking about earlier on, I will actually be presenting them as well. Okay. Are we ready for those? So, we have, beginning off with the Foundation Apprenticeship in Construction, we have Jack Johnson, who can't be here at the moment, but we have, for National 5, the Endeavour Award for that in construction goes to Ellie McTaggart. And moving on to the Foundation Apprentice in Engineering, the Endeavour Award at Higher goes to Morgan Gemmell, and we also have a Best In Award for Owen Moran, who's not here tonight. education next. So we have an Endeavour Award, higher level, Jem Carswell. We have Best In for National 5, Robin Haddock-Farrier. We have an Endeavour Award for National 5, that's Erin McMillan. And we have the Best In higher level, and that's Callum McGuigan. We also have some awards for pathways, so this wider achievement that we've been talking about in the school. We have Fiona Cruikshank is awarded the Leadership Award. We also have Siobhan Brown, who has the Mental Health and Wellbeing Award. And Fiona Cruikshank also has the Best in Pathways Award, so well done to them. Gosh, I have a very long list here from Mrs. Clark, I have to say. It's going on as well. We're moving on now to practical woodwork. So we have Bogdan Hafanoff, who is getting the Endeavour Award for National 5 Practical Woodwork. We have Duncan Cameron, who is the Best in National 5 Practical Woodwork. Thank you very much. We also have Scottish Baccalaureate. So the award for this, the best in Scottish Baccalaureate, goes to Thomas Hall. So he wins that for his work across different subjects. And that goes to Thomas. We have STEM Leader Awards next. STEM Leader Awards, Callum McGuigan is awarded Best in STEM Leader. That's absolutely. And we're moving on to two very special prizes for two very special pupils here. We have Rory McQueen, who has won the Callum John Lang Trophy. And he really, really deserves this, so well done, Rory, for that trophy. And I'm really proud to present this prize. This is the Terry Donovan Prize for Citizenship. Terry Donovan was actually a friend of mine, and I'm really proud to present that prize. This goes to Olivia Pearson, who, I have to say, Mrs. Clark has told me this, Olivia, she has overcome various obstacles and has won the Citizenship Prize because she is really living the values of Oban High School, so we're really proud of her.
Now we're singing a song from our upcoming musical, Matilda. Please welcome Aveen Clark and Sophia Manson.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So they say the subsequent fall was inevitable. They never stood a chance, they were written that way. I wonder why they didn't just change their story. We're told we have to do what we're told, but surely
like to welcome Kirsty Baxter, President of the Rotary Club. This year's Rotary Award is in recognition of Julie McLeod and Bethany McFarlane-Barrow's work in establishing mental health resources for the school, and the dedication that was required to do so. Our next prize will be presented by UHI Argyll Manager, Teresa Vane. The UHI Award will go to our School Link Pupil of the Year for his outstanding performance in hairdressing and beauty. And this award goes to Luke Mulligan.
Next up, I would like to welcome Mr. Bain, Susanna and Finlay to announce and present the final awards of the evening.
Right, so we are going to award some new awards for the very first time. And you've heard both myself and actually Ken and many of our principal teachers referring to values. And our school values are on the wall up there. So the vision for the school is on that side, and the values are on that side of the wall. You'll notice that they're not in alphabetical order, deliberately. Deliberately not in alphabetical order, because as much as they're almost equal, I do believe that compassion, a value overall, is what is required to create a wonderful society. If we have compassion for others, it says a lot about ourselves, and actually that self-worth will encourage ambition and respect and resilience thereafter. Compassion stands above the rest, but they're all very valuable as we move forward in our lives and in our society. And so I decided that we should really recognise those who go above and beyond, those who excel, those who strive to demonstrate these values. More often than not, they're not seeking to demonstrate these values, but they're evident to us in the school. And so I asked the teachers, in particular guidance staff and deputies who see the youngsters more than most, to nominate those who exemplify all of the values on a daily basis. There are so many. I always think that kids get a hard time in the press. We all moan about kids and behaviour. Kids are kids. Kids, like adults, are growing, are on a journey through life. And they may have a wee hiccup. They may need that wee sharp stick, and they may need that encouragement at times. But you know, most of our kids, all of our kids sometimes, but most of our kids on a daily basis are wonderful. I really believe that. We demonstrate these values on a daily basis. Not each of them on a daily basis, but across the term, we demonstrate them all, and they should be recognised and rewarded for that. And so the staff got together, and we are going to make a head teacher award for values, one for each clan, although I would recognise the efforts by so many. But the head teacher award for demonstrating our school values, in particular a member of Fingal, goes to Eve Malarvey. And it gives me great pleasure to say that the head teacher award for values in Dermot is Innes McCallum. And with equal pleasure, head teacher award for Open High School's values in Ocean is Ailey Kastner. And finally, in this class of award, the Head Teacher Award for demonstrating Open High School's values so strongly across Summerland is Megan Hart. Now, demonstrating compassion, ambition, respect and resilience is one thing, and that is to be encouraged across everyone in the community, young and old, particularly young, obviously. But I mentioned earlier in my talk about the need for parents and family to encourage and to prompt, and for staff to encourage and prompt. But we need to recognise that there are some more than others do the prompting. There's leadership in every walk of life, in every organisation, and no less so in schools. And quite often when we talk about leadership in schools, you think about people like me, standing up here at the lectern dressed in a kilt, or you maybe think Mrs Jackson or Mr Leggett or Mrs Morrison, the deputies or the principal teachers. But actually, leadership more and more isn't driven by the old folk like me. It's driven by the youngsters. And for some time now, for those of you who've been coming along with these sort of things, you'll know that I have a great passion for encouraging leadership at all levels. And we go to great effort to ensure that we give leadership opportunities to all the youngsters, but in particular to our senior pupil leadership team. And the senior pupil leadership team is made up of a head boy and a head girl, our school captains, who you've heard from already. Existing, sort of the old ones, and then the new ones are coming in. But equally to the rest of the team, so there's 2 clan leaders for each of the 4 clans, plus the school captains make up a leadership team of 10. They drive the school to a large extent. They're involved in the school improvement plan, they're involved in regular weekly meetings, they're involved in getting the other youngsters through the prefect system or through a new parliament system that we're about to launch, getting others involved in leadership. Without the senior pupil leadership team, as well as my principal teachers and my deputies, etc., the leadership of the school wouldn't be as strong as the HMI have said it is. It's down to their hard work, so they should be recognised as well. So, I'd like to award the Head Teacher Awards for clan leaders that we do annually to Katie Primrose and Dermot and Alec Welsh. And Dermot, Alec can't be with us, but Katie, if you can come up and get an award, a wee glass trophy for you. And my thanks to Eliza Babington and Shara Simpson, who are the clan leaders for Fingal and have helped lead the school eminently well. Come on in, that's good. The rest of you know what's coming, so be a bit more speedy. Right, for Ocean, the Head Teacher Award for Clan Leaders goes to Megan Day and Sophie Houston. Summerland, the Head Teacher Awards for Clan Leaders go to for Summerland it is Andrew Boyle and Ben McCorkadale. Thanks very much. And the 2 that have eminently chaired that team, steered them through thick and thin, can I say thank you very much to Dylan Howe and Julia McCall. So that's them got their class trophies the same as the rest. However, every year, because these 2 in particular have to spend most time with me, I feel that they should get an extra reward for putting up with all the jobs that I've put together. So, an extra award, there you go. So every year, we always get a piece of jewellery, something special from my outgoing head girl since she started to put up me so well. So thank you very much. what I do, the counterbalance that save school funds, is I make the head boy present from antlers that are found in the street. So I hand make a skiing do for each head boy that I've had. So I'd like to present a skiing do with much love and affection. Right, next up is traditionally and has been since 1890, there has been an award made to the pupil who has attained the highest number and the highest level of awards. It is of course referred to as the school ducks. The school ducks is achieved by clocking up the most A's, it's nearly always A's, across multiple subjects. And this can be across any subject. And I did mention the importance of professional, educational and academic awards as well. They are based on SQA qualifications. And we have a particular individual tonight who's about to get this nice shiny gold medal for achieving far more of these qualifications than others. But before I award this, I do want to know, as I was making just a note, as much as the individual I'm about to present this to is thoroughly deserving of the school ducks, there are dozens and dozens of hard-working, dedicated, committed young people who were in the running for this. I'm sure you're ready to press, because I have to get a press statement something about design results. This year in particular, the number of academics and challenges was particularly high, and that is reflected in the attitude and commitment of our youngsters. So can I just reiterate, well done to you all for all the passes and all the subjects and all the levels that have led you here. But we must, as we now stand, to give recognition to the school ducks, who is Callan McGuigan. The last award is a collective award, and it's called the Clan Shield. Some of you won't see blethering about now, for those of you who come and go over. But for those of you who have got really keen kids, who come home and tell you about what's going on in school, I know that's probably difficult, because they're usually coming home and you go, what did you do at school today? Well, actually, they did a hell of a lot of things today, whether it's that friendly curriculum that I was talking about, or whether it's one of the 56 different clubs that we have and they go everything from sailing to athletics to music. There's sheets you can look on the website and see what it's important. But they get points for academic success, and they get points for sporting success. They get points for taking part in charity events and demonstrating compassion. They get points for helping out at clubs. We also give out points for their contribution to the community. So if they're away helping out with the dub set, they get points for that. If they're away helping out with HGO, they get points for that. If they're supporting our local teams like Open Saints, or they're taking part in national things like skiing for the Scottish skiing team, whatever it may be, we recognise that school is one part, one very big and one very important part of their lives. But they're our children, and we encourage them to work with others to be the very best they can. And so we recognise that as well. And all these points achieved by all our learners across all our subjects and all their wider opportunities are all gathered together by the excellent senior pupil leadership team and their prefects and support team. And when we count them all up, at the end of the year, we award this shield that goes back to 1950. And it stays in that trophy cabinet there. Don't let it out your sight. I know that some of you will try to steal us. And this is one of the most prized possessions that we have. And every year, I take great pleasure. I'm going to remove the ribbons to see which clan, which group of youngsters have put in the most effort, have succeeded the most to generate. Oh, really? So, who has won the clan? Now, Dermot, if you look on the boards outside in the foyer, just along from the trophy cabinet, there's a copy of the one new cabinet last week. If you look at these boards, you'll find that Dermot, that's the yellow one, has been in recent times the most successful, and will they continue to be? Well, you know, no, they're not. Actually, Dermot last for the first time in ages. We shame for Dermot. Next up, Osher, the red one. Mr. Ledbeater has just taken over Osher, and he's hoping. Well, maybe he ditched them for a good reason, because actually they're not winning anything. Right. Now, my kids were in Fingal. You know, I had two kids went through school. They were in Fingal. And clearly Fingal should be winning, because I'm biased. But unfortunately, they're not winning because Sutherland have won it. Honestly, thank you very much for me. I think it's been a great evening listening to all the successes of all our young people. And I'm now going to pass over to my last two youngsters of the evening. Susanna and Finlay are new school captains. You'll get your presents next time. So thanks very much, everyone. Thanks very much, everyone. I'm not going to say any more other than safe journey home, and thank you very much for coming along.
So we would like to just, before we end off the evening, have a nice vote of thanks to say thank you to everybody who has done something. We'd just like to hold off the applause to the end because there's quite a big list of people to thank. So I'm going to start off by thanking our guest of honour this evening, Professor Ken Thompson, OBE, for his inspiring address this evening. I think a really important thing to take away from it is believe in yourself. I mean, you hear it a lot, but it's really important. I think it's quite true to hold to you. Also, wear yellow around midges, definitely taking that out. I'd also like to thank Catherine McFarlane for being such a well-loved member of staff in her time here, and also helping present some of the prizes. I'd also like to thank the administration staff of the school, especially Christine Cameron, for keeping the school running behind the scenes. I'd like to thank David Ferguson, call him David, for engraving all of the awards tonight, the nicest sparkly. And also to all the IT and technicians for watching out on the lighting and the sound this evening.
Thank you as well to Mrs. Clark for providing the flowers and arranging them for this evening. Thank you to the janitorial staff at the school for setting up the art displays outside and all the tables and all the chairs. Thank you to all the principal teachers of the subjects for handing out the awards this evening. Thank you to the Rotary Club for supporting the school in so many ways, continuing to support the school. In particular, Kirsty Baxter for presenting the Rotary Award this evening. Thank you to UHI Argyll for providing so many more opportunities for our young people within the school throughout the year. Thank you to all our performers, including the Woodwind Quintet, the Traditional School of Music, Yvonne Clark and Sophia Lamson, and Callum McGuigan for all playing this evening. Thank you to all the teachers of the school, because if it weren't for you, then kids wouldn't know anything. And then finally, thank you to all the parents and carers and friends and families for coming this evening to support the achievements of all our young people. So, round of applause now.